Genesis, but throughout the scriptures, there are many wonderful scriptures that tells us that God did create the heaven and the earth and the sea and everything that's in them. God said, "Let there be a sky in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the sky and divided the waters which were under the sky from the waters which were above the sky, and it was so. And God called the sky heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. We note right from the beginning that God named the sky heaven, and ever since the scribe Moses perhaps received this from some of the ancient worthies in the first world before the flood and was passed on down. It hasn't changed since. I love it. The scientists said that the earth was formed approximately 4.5 billion years ago through the acceleration of dust, gas, and a disk rotating around the young sun. Though frequent collision, material grew into a planetesimal and eventually a molten planet, which later cooled to form a solid crust, ocean, and atmosphere. Now, one of the things that brought to my attention that I've heard over the years, many years, that the earth will be destroyed. You undoubtedly have heard the same thing. The earth abideth forever, O Lord, thy word is settled in heaven. Thy faithfulness is unto all generations. Thou hast established the earth, and it abide. Psalm 119, 89, and 90. The heaven, even the heaven, are the Lord's, but the earth has he given to the children of men. Psalm 115 and 16. Just think about what a wonderful gift that was given to our father Adam, the whole earth and everything in it to control and rule. For thus says the Lord that created the heaven, God himself that formed the earth and made it, and he had established it. He created it, not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is none else. Isaiah 45 and 18. Who laid the foundation of the earth that it should not be removed forever. Psalm 104 and 5. And one of the greatest ones that we use in witnessing that the earth abide forever is one generation pass away and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. Scripture, anyone?
Ecclesiastes 1:4.
Thank you. It was during the second creative period that the earth's atmosphere was formed. The word expansion is used in the marginal translation of Genesis 1:6. And God said, let there be a firmament, margin, expansion in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters, the division of the waters by the expansion. Meant that the main body of water remained on the earth, while a tremendous quantity of water, vapor, was held suspended in the upper atmosphere. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an astrophysicist, but I'm giving you what I believe that the Bible, as Bible students, surely are familiar with. Scientists tell us that the remaining gases which came from the hot earth, much of which condensed to form the ocean of boiling water, which at one time covered the whole earth, were now used to make the atmosphere. Probably so. But can the scientists explain just how these gases happen to adjust themselves as to provide exactly the right amount of oxygen which would be necessary for the many breathing creatures of earth which later were to be created? Besides, provision had to be made to maintain the proper mixture of nitrogen and oxygen throughout the future age in order for both the vegetation and breathing creatures of earth to continue to exist. The Creator was the captain and accomplice of all of this. Concerning this great one, the prophet Isaiah wrote, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the habitation thereof as grasshoppers, that stretches out the heaven as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent, to dwell in." Isaiah 40 and 22. Isaiah 40 and 22. Brethren, what a beautiful way of describing the expanse of atmosphere that surrounds the earth. It is as a tent in which dwells, and truly every living creature on earth does live in this oxygen tent. The earth's atmosphere is vital to life, not only because of the oxygen which it provides for all breathing creatures, but also because it is so integral a part of the circulatory system, which the earth supplies with much needed water for its vegetation and for drinking purpose. What will we do without it? I see everyone has some on their desk. It is so wonderful. We look for a new heaven and a new earth. We set our minds on things above and not things on the earth. However, we all have our beginning on the planet Earth, and we all have admiration for it. We all have looked in the sky and marvel at the wonderful creation, the stars, the galaxies, telescope, James telescope. And our astrophysicist gives us many wonderful stories about the galaxies. And if they discover one star, there's billions others that they say that still exist. That is, they don't come to an end. We are told that the atmosphere holds billions of tons of water in suspension, ready to be sprinkled upon the earth. What a marvelous watering system. And you don't have to order it. No pipes. It reveals the wisdom of the divine architect and how strengthened it is to have a faith. It should be to realize that the Bible described this arrangement so long ago, long before the wisdom of this world understood anything about it. And how simple it is described. God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, Genesis 1, 7, and 8. The Hebrew word here translates heaven is the same one which is also translated air in this chapter. It would therefore be just as correct to say that God called the firmament air. With the forming of the Earth's atmosphere completed, that air came to an end. And the evening and the morning was the second day. Thank you for listening. I'll take some questions, or we'll debate among ourselves.
Thank you, Brother Ali, for this presentation. Now it's time to ask Brother Ali questions.
No question. That's good. So everyone here is a scientist, so they all know all about the earth.
Thank you. Brother Ali, my question is, during the days of Noah, the period of flood, the Bible says it rained for 40 days. And another part of the Bible says the gate of the waters will open. So with these two narratives, will you say it's only rain or other sources of water combined to flood the whole earth?
Well, one of the things that I did stated that there are billions of water in the form of vapor above our earth at all time. And the last pure water that deluged the earth was during the time of the great flood. And since then, there has not been any pure water. But during the Paleozoic age, which was the age of plantless animals on the earth, most of the water was on the earth. But due to the atmospheric pressure and the boiling and the vapor, some said it was volcanic action that caused the steam to raise, of course, and it would go up above the earth. And that's what it meant, that the waters on the earth was separated from the waters above the earth. But the water above the earth was on the earth first. Maybe that asks your question.
Yeah, thank you. I do agree with the fact that the waters that descended were very pure. And then, and I believe that, no, these waters were saying are very massive, and some of these waters are stored in the poles. And I believe God let those sources of water loose because they were initially on the surface of the earth, and he started, differentiating them into various parts of the earth. Others in the firmament, that is the sky. Others are the poles in the form of blocks, so that it will be a reasonable level of water surrounding the land. But the next question is, why did God decide to allow the gases to float upwards on the earth?
Allow
apart from the
vapor,
clouds.
you mean?
I'm saying, why did God decide to put the gases that erupted from the earth to remain in the skies?
Well, I didn't come across the dust, but I come across vapor. You know, you can take I stated that the earth, the ocean, and the lakes, they all filled with water that came down to them. And then as they're heated by the sun, they're drawn back up into the atmosphere. And they return back again as a sprinkler to water the earth, and etc. That's the process that God has designed, and it works. Is that what you're referring to, or are you saying dust?
But I believe it has, the gases has to do with what we normally call the ozone, which is a second form of oxygen. And this ozone is purposely in the atmosphere to prevent the, what do you call it, red rays from entering direct into the Earth's surface. And that is what we call the ozone layer. So now we are doing, human being is doing his best to destroy the ozone layer, and that's why we have now the climate change. So God intentionally placed those things there for the protection of man.
Well, during the Paleozoic age, or Azoic age, we would think that the sun at that time was not visible to the earth. The sun rays did not penetrate to the dense cloud above the earth. But later on, when the deluge started, where the poles rotating and minerals coming to the earth, which form the shell creatures, and etc. Then light came through. You know, in order to make the water boil, you had to get light through. So it would have been just a hard rock. As the sun rays struck the earth, it started a boiling process, and the rest of it is history.
And what I want to chip there is this. When the ozone layer breaks and the canopy breaks, then the water from above the firmament start to come down. And by then, before the time of Noah, there was no rain. And the condition of the earth was very suitable to sustain life during that time of antediluvian era. Then when the ozone layer breaks, the canopy breaks everything. Water from under the ground, above the earth, then they fill the distant earth. Then after the drying of the water, then we have more sunshine. When we can compare to people living in Anatolia, in Turkey, they are the life of those people are centurions. They live more than 100 years before they die. People living very closer to Eden than Anatolia.
Well, I'm not so sure whether you're describing want me to describe what was first. I'm at the second day. We have to go back to day one. We have other things that took place before the second day. So the second day we had just the earth and probably dust, like Brother Rogers was speaking about. It was just a hard shell until the sun penetrated it. You've seen a volcanic, it started an action, and the steam went up and the water went up. And like I said, this is why we have the water separating from the waters on the earth, the waters from above. It seemed to be God had a simple method of establishing this. But the scientists have made it very difficult for anyone. You have to be a PhD or astrophysicist in order to really understand it, you know. But however, we have many astrophysicists and geologists. As a matter of fact, when in my work, I worked with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which was, everyone was science, geologists, etc. And at that time, I was telling them about the flood, witnessing, and it was a very strange thing to listen to the geologist says, those was all lies, because the earth, was created the way they say it was created 4-point-something billion years ago. Someone, Brother Brian.
So thank you, Brother Lee. The question that I'm going to ask you is actually one that I really could ask all the speakers on this theme of the convention, one of the themes at least, on the 7 days of creation. But since I see you standing up there first, perhaps I'll start with you. I'll probably ask the others if I have time, but we'll start with you. So your assignment is on the second day of creation, Genesis 1, verses 6 to 8. The end of verse 8 says, and this was the second day. So just to start things off, if you were asked how long was the second day, how long of a period would you say?
Yeah, well, it is very short, seemed to me 5 minutes. But really, yes, the word, the expression evening and morning and day cannot be understood to signify 24 hours, days. For neither sun nor moon was visible until the fourth day. The earth was swallowed in impenetrable darkness. I didn't finish everything, so I was cut off. So I will finish. The word day applies to any period of epoch, as for instance, the day of temptation in the wilderness, 40 years, Psalm 95:8. And again, Christ evidently referring to the 1,000-year, the Messiah kingdom over the whole earth, Isaiah 2:11. And the Apostle Peter, which is one of my favorite scriptures, it says that one day with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. So we have here 7 times 7 equal to 49,000. But each epoch is 7,000 years. So the second day is 7,000 years.
So it would be my guess that most of the brethren in this room accept that as a conclusion. But if we go to, for example, 1 Thessalonians 5:21, tells us to prove all things, hold fast what is good. And so if someone outside of our fellowship were to ask us that question, how long was the first day or the second day or the third day? In large measure, we reach the conclusions that we do concerning that 7,000-year period from the harvest message. So is there an easy way for us to explain? I mean, the 24-hour period and days represent periods of time. That I get. But why do we say 7,000?
Well,
I may not have a short answer, but that's my question.
Okay, we follow the theory that each day of the 7 days of the created week were a period of 7,000 years. This 7,000, like I said before, the 7,000 times 7 equals to 49,000. So each day is 1,000 year, and 7 days is 7,000 years. So I don't know whether that answers your question or not, but if someone challenged me, they would be challenged.
I'm not challenging.
I'm talking about if someone outside.
No, okay.
I'm talking about outside of the Bible student would challenge me, like saying, well,
That's fine.
how do you derive at this 7,000 years,
There's a hand down there. I'm not sure there's...
I just want to add a contribution to what you said about the formation of the earth, and also come back to what Brother Brian just said. Okay, I want us to open to the book of Job chapter 38. verse 37 and 38. Job, yeah. It reads,
Job.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reads,
I have that also.
who can number the clouds in wisdom, and who can stay the bottles of heaven? Remember the Big Bang and the cherry. Then 38 says, when the dust groweth into hardness, and the clouds cleave fast together. Okay. So, okay.
You would contribute to the question that Brother Brian asked.
Yes, then,
Yeah, okay.
no, this for
Yes.
the formation of it. Then I want to confirm to what Brother Brian just said, the 7,000 year period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the beginning of creation, the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 to day 6 was given a specific period of time where at the end we have morning, evening and morning the first day, the second day and third day. But the seventh day, there was nothing like morning, evening and morning. Okay, so which means since then till
Thank
up to
you,
this
brother.
time, it
Thank you.
Well,
continues.
thank you. We'll
Yeah.
discuss that.
So the 7,000 years from
Yeah.
from the time of creation from the time God rested up till now, as we see,
Thank you,
take
brother.
a period of 7,000 years.
Thank you, Brother Lee.